Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to you all. Welcome to our show, Scholar Alap, with Professor Aminul Karim. A professor needs no introduction, yet we'd like to mention a few of them. He was a former dean at the Business School of Independent University of Bangladesh, a leading private university. He's also a commandant. He served as a commandant for 2 terms in National Defense College. He was a senior research fellow at the University of Malaya. He's also a visiting professor at the Chinese Foreign Affairs University, and he served all over the world in different contexts with the different books. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have our show. We are delighted to have you, have Professor Aminul Karim on our show. And Professor Aminul Karim, welcome to Scholar Alap.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Yeah, and thanks for the initiative you're taking. I must thank Dr. Mahfouz for, I must say, an excellent initiative, and I think this is very relevant, and we need such sort of initiative for our youngsters. I mean, I'm calling the PhD students youngsters or the master students because I think age-wise I must say senior to most of them. I've just crossed 65, and I've been dean here in the School of Business in the Independent University, Bangladesh. Now I am the professor, and before this I was in China Foreign Affairs University, and then before that I was senior research fellow and also adjunct professor in the University of Malaya. Before that I served in the University of Iraq University, Dhaka, as a professor in the School of Business. And before, in fact, my background is military actually. I was a 3-star general in the army. I retired and then I joined University of Malaya. And in the army also, I was in the teaching, sort of our military teaching. I was in the National Defense College as its faculty and also as the chief of that college, and also in Defense Services Command and Staff College in Bangladesh. And in the military, before joining the military, I was in the Dhaka University in the Department of English, and probably I did not like literature much, so I joined army. And before the Dhaka University, I was in the Rajshahi Cadet College. I joined Rajshahi Cadet College in 1967 and passed out in 1974. Before that, I was in the high school, Chapanawabganj Horiman Government High School now. I did my class 6 and 7 from there. And about my education, I have been all along an humanities and arts fellow, but I did 3 master's degrees. One in master's in political science from Dhaka University. I did a master's in defense studies from National University of Bangladesh. I did another master's degree in management studies from Osmania University, Hyderabad. And let me share my little bit of pride that I got first class in all these 3. And then while in the army, I made a general in the army in 2002, 2-star general, major general. And then I registered myself for PhD program under Dhaka University. And I got that awarded in 2007. And before that, as I said, I did my undergrad and my master's degree and my PhD all from Dhaka University.
Right.
I love Dhaka University. I have a lot of fascination for the university, but well, it is not as famous as it was before during our time. It used to be called Oxford of the East, but hopefully someday it will come back. It will get back its stature. That is what should be. It should be. With that, in University of Malaya, it opened my eyes that publication is the order of the day. If you don't publish, sorry, you perish. I got a very fantastic Vice Chancellor, Professor Daud Jasman, who said that if you don't publish, and that in the Web of Science Journal or in the ISI journals, you are not qualified to stay in University of Malaya. And good luck or bad luck, I had a military background, and I was very worried about that, but I made it. When I came out of the university, I had to come back because of my daughter's marriage and because of my other household problems.
Right.
When I came out of UM, I had already 14 of them. In 4 or 5 years, I made 40. I said, now today I have 17 ISI journal publications.
Great.
And I have about 10 or 12 books, and 3 of them have been published from Nova Science Publishers in New York, USA, one from New Delhi, and rest are from Dhaka, and yeah, mostly from Dhaka. And journal publications, other than ISI, also in normal journals, I have about 20 or 30 journal publications, so on and so forth.
Prof,
And,
before we go into your academic life, we came to know that you born and brought up in Rajshahi, and your schooling was also in Rajshahi. So then your life goes on to the different level, and you travel all around the world. You work different part of the world, including University, Malaya, US, China, and all sort of countries. And then you went back home countries. So how was that total journey, being living in Rajshahi, then made a move and gone all the way for different parts of the world?
I was born in a very small village, you can say Helmet, called Ranibadi Chandpur, right on the bank of the river, Mahananda. It is under Shipganj Upazila. And my grandfather had big mango orchard on the side of our house, and he had a mosque at the front of the house. And Mahananda, it was right on the river Mahananda. I did my primary education in that village school. Then I moved to the subdivisional headquarters, the Chapanawab ones, and did my class 6 and 7 standards from Harimohan Government High School. Yeah, after I did my cadet college, I joined the army in 1975. And then in 77, I moved to China for a 6 months training. Then in 1985, I went to Malaysia to do my staff college there for 1 year. 1985, I was one completed in staff college, military staff college in Malaysia. And then in 91, I went to India, Usmania University, to do my master's in management studies under the College of Defense Management. They call it College of Defense Management. The same thing as that of MBA, but in India it is considered a little higher than MBA because they grade it that way because it is the senior officers who attend that course. After having done that, I was for a short course in the Kennedy School of Government in Harvard University, very short course in 2000. And then I joined NDC, National Defense College, as a student in 2001. Then in 2003, I went to National Defense University in Washington, America, for again a short course. And then in 2008, I joined that Ohio State University as a visiting scholar for 3 months while in the military.
Right.
I came back. I retired in 2009, and in 2009 I joined as senior research fellow at University of Malaya. I came back after 1 year. Again, I was Professor Gauj Josman was absolutely instrumental in getting me back, so I had to take my whole family to the university. My son was there; he was then doing PhD there in the university. My daughter was doing undergrad in mathematics. My wife was there, and my daughter-in-law was also there.
Right.
My granddaughter was born in the University of Malaya Hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, my son's daughter actually. And then I used to enjoy my work. I used to supervise PhD students, master students, and also do research work, and then conduct some classes or some seminars. I used to enjoy my job in University of Malaya. And,
you were in defense for quite a long time, and how was the transition between from defense to academia? How do you find academia?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's a big challenge. And there is saying every challenge turns into an opportunity.
Right.
I became I also served as a military secretary to the president of Bangladesh for 2 years at the Bangu Bhavan.
Right.
And I did a lot of military courses, and I was a soldier on the ground. I fought I was on active duty in the battlefield in the Chittagong Hill Tracts. I commanded a battalion in the Chittagong Hill Tracts. But then I never gave up studies in my life. While in the army, I was doing my undergrad, I was doing my master's, I was doing my PhD, and in the military also I was doing a lot of courses. And those are very rewarding courses. Like in the staff college, You are taught most of the management principles and practices and all those things. In NDC also, you after having done an NDC, you get your MPhil degree. After having done your staff college, you get a master's degree.
Right.
And it is all in international organization. In Bangladesh, staff college, we have students from 30 different countries, 30 to 40 different countries. And in the National Defense College, our students are generally secretaries, ambassadors, and generals, so on and so forth. And they are coming from about 20 different countries. So I had the privilege of being a student of staff college, being a faculty of a staff college, and also we call it commandant, or you can say chief, or you can say in Pakistan they call it university, so vice chancellor. So I didn't have that privilege. And then I retired, and then all of a sudden I applied to University of Malaya. I asked Professor Gaujasan, why did you select me? I am a military man. I can't be of any use to your university. Well, I know who can do what. Well, I have done study on you, and and he had a lot of weakness for Bangladeshi people. He told me that Bangladeshi people are very good in research, and that's why I selected you. Anyway, on the first year, I did my.
Prof, our next question would be, as a novice researcher like us, how we keep going with the research, because sometimes what happens when you're done with our PhD, even we notice that back in Bangladesh we have hundreds of PhD holders who got their PhD from Berkeley and all these universities. Then when they are back, they are somehow like looking like getting a bit slower in doing research. So how we keep going with the research, because what we notice is that being a professor and in this age still you will keep publishing, and you just got a new book, Professor, like Genocide and Geopolitics of the Rohingya Crisis, a wonderful book coming from over. So how you keep moving with the research, Prof?
Yeah. That's a good point. While in the army, I used to publish in a good journal in Bangladesh. Peace Journal is a good journal. But I had no idea about ISI and Scopus and Web of Science. I had no idea, no citation, nothing like that. I used to publish in that journal. So I had about 10 or 12 publications already before I moved to University of Malaya. And then you can say in the National Defense College and in Staff College, we are given a dose of research methodology, and we have to submit a dissertation there. And this dissertation is supervised by Dhaka University and also marked by Dhaka University professors. So we had some background. I had some background of research methodology and publication and so on and so forth. And in University of Malaya, I was a self-made man. I read books and I read journals, and then I used to submit, and I used to get rebuffed by the editors. I failed once, twice, thrice, maybe fourth time I strike. My first ISI was published in the first year. I did not know that there was an ISI journal. I just submitted and it got through.
I see. Right.
And the second time when I went back, I again tried getting rejected. I tried getting rejected. Third or fourth time I made it. And that was the first year. I was supposed to do 2 ISI papers per year.
See.
The first year I could not do 2, but I did 1. The second year I did 3, and the third year I did 5 of them, and then so on and so forth. Now it's only 7. But now I have switching more towards books. I've already done 3 books in last 3.5 years from Nova Science, and it is one of the top publishing houses in the world. I think within the first 10 or so, yeah. And I get interest.
Prof, you were serving in different part of the world and definitely got experience working with the world-class and top-ranked universities. Then you went back home in Bangladesh, and you know the environment up there. So what could we do better? What could we have done better to make a better research culture in Bangladesh, Prof, in your point of view?
Actually, the problem in our country with the professors and the teachers and the assistant professors and associate professors is that once you have done a PhD, means there's the end of the life. You have a PhD from Harvard, you have a PhD from Caltech, you have a PhD from Oxford or Cambridge, and they think, oh no, that's the end of my life. No, but that's the beginning of your life. But I cannot, instill in them the idea that no, this is the beginning of your life. Unless you are publishing, unless you have currency, in the military, the term called currency, say you are flying now MiG-29, and you're changing to MiG-23, 33, can you fly it? No.
Right.
Take the example of finance. It's changing every year. Take the example of Tripoli. It is changing always. Medicine, changing every day, every month. So unless you're up to date with the knowledge, you have no right to teach at the university level. Then go and teach in the college or in the high school. But the problem with our teachers in Bangladesh is that, no, I have done a good PhD from a good university. I don't need to read anything, do anything more. You just do one or two publication in unknown journals, and then he becomes a professor automatically. That's very sad, very, very sad. I'm very, very depressed, disgruntled to see the state of affairs in Bangladesh universities. They don't care. We teach and that's good enough. And they teach old maybe a garbage, something outdated material to the students. So as a dean, I have tried my best to bring in this. I invited you twice to my school to give talk on how to write in good journals. So I used to invite a lot of people. I used to run workshops for them, and my teachers have started delivering now. They're publishing in Q1 journals now. The other day, two of my assistant professors, they published in Q1 journals. That's fascinating. Well, they told me that we have never heard what is ISI before you came to this school. We have to bring back this culture of research, publications. We must get the slogan of publish or perish. I think that is what Gauss just used to say. Either you publish or you just perish. Right. At the university level, if you don't do research, you have no right to teach. You are going to teach outdated things. And that cannot be accepted. No. That's my philosophy. I have learned it in a hard way, where I'm a self-made man. Nobody taught me all these things. I have done it through my own way, trial and, you can say, error and trial and tribulations, whatever you call it. And good enough, alhamdulillah. And I move slowly and I do it. I fail, but I do it. Now I know how to write. And I do mostly qualitative research. Quantitative I can do, but I don't take that trouble of, I'm getting old, and unless I have students, it's difficult to do it. And I'm generally, most of my publications, I'm the single author. 90% of my publications, I'm the single author. So I write in my own way, qualitative research. I have understood the technique of it, and the journals have also understood. Before they reject my paper now, these days, they think twice. Generally, they don't reject. And I can understand this will be accepted or not rejected. So if I think that this will be rejected, I don't submit that. So I take time and I do it. Fine, good enough, alhamdulillah.
Prof, you have published many papers in SSCI Index and also published book. So what would be your advice to the young chaps or young researchers that how they should start about publishing in that top journals? What they should basically do? Say, for example, if somebody wants to do in qualitative, I mean, what approach or how you, I mean, if you share your experience a bit of with the young researcher like us.
Yeah, to my mind, the young researchers should go for quantitative to start with. Qualitative is a tough job. You need a lot of experience. The people will reject, top Q1 journals, ISI journals, 95% of the submitted papers are rejected at the editor's desk. Editor will just reject at the desk, 95% are rejected. It's very tough. Right. So to start with, and like in subject like Tripoli, subject like finance, subject like medicine, it should be quantitative generally. It should be quantitative. Right. But I'm writing mostly on my core area: geopolitics, geoeconomics, international relations, leadership, maybe counterinsurgency. I read a lot of them in the army, and I have myself practiced it on the ground, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's how I developed myself. I don't know how it came by, but then it's not that I cannot do it, but then I thought, no, that's not my level. And these days, quantitative research is getting more attention at the higher level. Because, say, in management, we talk about mood, we talk about your attitude, right? We talk about your values. You cannot quantify that. Your mood in the morning was very good. Can you quantify that? But yes, but the good editors, they tell me, I've talked to many good editors of the ISI journal. We prefer mixed method.
I see.
Quantitative plus qualitative will be better.
Right.
But there is a trend now. Quantitative is overwhelming, like in public health,
Right.
like health economics.
Right.
You have to have a quantitative. You have no choice. So many people died, and why so many people died? What are the reasons? So it has to be qualitative.
Right.
And population science, you have to be qualitative. There's no choice in that. One subject like political science, international relations, and then history, law. This can be qualitative. In literature, it has to be qualitative. You can bring in some quantitative. I can also bring some quantitative, but I don't take the trouble because in UM I did one or two in quantitative because I had PhD students, so I got support from them and on that.
Right.
Well, that's my personal opinion style. For a young star, I would say start with quantitative, do the analysis, come out with, and then people are not very good in writing the conceptual framework. People are not good in finding out the gaps of the research. That's a problem. Literature review has to be thorough, and then you
Right.
have to find out the research questions. There, I find lot of because I am the reviewer of about 10 or 12 ISA listed journals, so I find the problems over there. They, there are some who are very good, but there are some who cannot find out the gaps in the research and they cannot do the framework, and then they cannot find out the variables, all those things. And then the
Right.
research question is very important. Or challenge a theory or create a theory yourself.
Right.
Now these days my trend is I have not gone to that level to create my own theory, but at least I have gone to the level of challenging some theory.
I see.
This is my approach presently.
Right.
Just to give an example,
Yeah.
Alfred Mahan, he was a great naval admiral in America. He has a theory of supremacy of the sea power. So last 2-3 papers that I've published in the ISA journal, I have challenged his theory.
See.
Two approaches you have: either create your own theory. First, you have your own, naturally find out the theory, and but I'm not to that level. I can create my own theory. Maybe after another 10 years, if I live well, I'll create my own theory. I don't know. But what I do basically is to create a theory. And unless you challenge a theory, the ISI people will not accept. I'm talking about the social science in my field. They don't take it. And then you have to justify, find out the research questions. And the literature part is very important now also. They see it very meticulously. Finding out it much better than I do.
No, no
And
problem. Certainly
and
not.
finding out the research gaps, that's very important.
Right. Right.
That is where I found the big slackness, lacuna in our teachers, in our students. They cannot find out the gap of the research. They fail. At the end of the day, they write an essay. There's a big difference writing an essay and a research paper. There's a big difference. ওই difference-টা ওরা বুঝতে পারে না হয়তোবা. That's how
Right.
I look at it.
Right. Prof, how are we preparing our students, our postgraduate students back in Bangladesh for doing research? Are they getting any methodology in an area or at the undergrad level or even master's level? Are they getting any methodology?
Yeah, we teach methodology at the undergrad level. We have a course. We call it Management 385.
Right.
Which is the basic research, of course, both in the undergrad level and in the master's level. It's a dedicated course, compulsory course.
Right.
It's a higher level core course and it's a compulsory course. And which is that, and students are given two options at the end of this of his tenure as an undergrad or postgrad. He has to either do a job in a farm internship, or he has to take the research methodology. Another mode. We have two modes. One is research. By doing research, survey, and all those things, you have to submit a paper. You'll be supervised by faculty, or you have to do the internship in a company, and you have to get a report from the company. And based on that, we will award him the degree. So my school, in my university, I think I will not say comprehensive, but it's okay. It's a very reasonable methodology that we teach to the students, and I think they learn a lot on that. But then, if you don't pursue it further, then it's a waste of time. You have to pursue it.
Right.
That's not the end of life.
Prof, we are very excited to know a brief overview of your new book that are very fantastic in nature, Genocide and Geopolitics of the Rohingya Crisis, Prof. So if you could just shed a bit light on it, and then later on we will read your book, buying your book and reading your full book, Prof.
I'm sorry to say the book is very expensive for our third world country.
Right.
I don't know why the Americans and the British and they charge so high. It costs $160, but to the students, and I'm sure the university teachers, they will give good discount. I'm sure about that. The book is basically, I'm covering two aspects of this Rohingya crisis. This is a serious festering problem. I call it a festering problem. This is looming large for last hundreds of years, from the Arakan period till today. The British came, the Japanese came, the Indians came. There was Second World War, and they got divided. And the question of religion also is there. The religion of Buddhism and Islam. The Arakan is predominantly inhabited by Muslims. The Myanmar government, I think, has a policy of driving out the Muslims once for all. No Muslims will be allowed. It will be all. So they conducted genocide. There are three terms here. You call it genocide, then ethnic cleansing, and the other term I just forget it. I have tried to prove in this. Book that this was a clear case of genocide. It's a legal matter. This was discussed in the court that the case was referred to, and I have taken the proceedings from the court, and I am trying to prove in my book that this was a clear case of genocide. Genocide is a serious matter. You cannot escape from genocide. Like there was genocide in Rwanda, genocide in Herzegovina, in former Yugoslavia. So I have discussed genocide, that this was a clear case of genocide by the Burmese military and security forces on the unarmed minority Muslim population. Bordering Bangladesh, they live bordering Bangladesh. They basically, some of them have migrated. Most of them have migrated from Chittagong and Bangladesh and settled there. They are very poor people.
I see.
And the other part is geopolitics.
Right.
Geopolitics is my area because of the geopolitics, China and India and Russia, they are not backing our case in the UN Security Council. Unless UN Security Council gives the clearance, you cannot take coercive action against the Burmese military. We could have a UN military mission over there and fight back the Burmese military, but then that has been vetoed by the Chinese and the Russia, primarily because of geopolitics. Because China wants a thoroughfare from China to Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal is coming out very important now these days.
Right.
They have connected they have got a deep sea port in Myanmar, and they're connecting it by two lines, one for oil and the other for gas. And this is geopolitics. They do not want to annoy the Burmese military or the Burmese authority. They have to stay put in Myanmar. Otherwise, their geopolitical aim will be absolutely subverted. And with that view, they're not supporting us, our case. Although this is a serious violation of human rights, it's a serious violation of basic necessities of life. They gang rape girls, and they have burned the houses, and they are even converting people, trying to convert people, and so on and so forth. So the perpetrators have committed a genocide, and this must be tried in the court, International Criminal Court, and so on and so forth. But that cannot be done, or we could have a military mission there, like UN mission we have in Africa. Bangladesh military is working in many military missions all over the world. Not only Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Malaysia. We conduct UN missions, and so I'm showing that the geopolitics involved. China is interested here, India is interested here. Myanmar has a lot of resources. Oil is there, gas is there, minerals are there,
Right.
timbers are there,
Right.
untapped,
Right. Right.
huge resources, water resources, the sea resources, ocean resources, you name anything, they have it.
Right.
So Americans also interested over there. Japanese are interested. Japanese are investing a lot of billions of dollars in Myanmar and in Bangladesh. Also, China is investing a huge amount of money there. India is also investing. India is trying to connect Northeast India with mainland Myanmar, and so that they will join ASEAN, Malaysia, Cambodia, and so on and so forth. India is also on that role. So the geopolitics, which is deterring them not to take action against the perpetrators, those criminals, military criminals. But some countries have put some, especially America has put some sanctions against some military generals. Canada has put some sanctions. EU has put some sanctions. But these are not, they don't carry much teeth.
Right.
Had it been a UN mandated UN force operating there, things would have been different. But that is not possible just because of geopolitics. So these are the 2 points that are highlighted in my book.
Right.
And then I have tried to find out the scenario development. What is going to be the
Excellent.
future of it? That's it.
Excellent.
That is the main message.
Thank you very
That's the
much,
main
Prof.
message of my book.
We're eager to get your book soon, and hope many readers will be buying your book and reading to know more about this geopolitics of the Rohingya crisis. Prof, what we noticed when went through your profiles is basically you are very interested about the political science and geopolitics. So the young researchers who are interested to go in that area, so what would be their future? I mean, what area or which I mean, maybe a narrow part they should be looking at to get a better insight to publish in a better journals and all this, Prof. If you have any suggestion for the young generation.
Yeah. You see, international relations or geopolitics, peace and conflict,
Right.
economics, because geopolitics is also related to geoeconomics.
Right.
Where if you are taking the gas and oil to your own country, that's economics. It is for economic reason that you are coming to Myanmar.
Right.
Unless economics is the driving force.
Right.
When you come to the realm of power is divided into different groups like economic power, political power, military power, soft power, hard power. Like military is the hard power.
Right.
Economy is both hard power and soft power. So these are all linked up. You can't really take out economics from geopolitics. No, that's not possible.
Right.
You can't take out finance from geopolitics. No, that's not possible.
Right.
You cannot take out leadership and management from geopolitics. No, that's not possible. So, either the concept is interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary is the concept.
Right.
You have to bring in many, few disciplines together, and that is your, what's the craftsmanship. If you can do that well, you are a good scholar. You are a good researcher.
Right.
If you can't do that well, you can't do that. Like after COVID-19, there will be crisis in the world.
Right.
There are a lot of dislocations. There are a lot of leadership change. There may be a war. Nationalities might change. Economics, it will impact the economy of the country. There may be a trade war may turn into a physical war, hard war, So all are linked up. So you have to have, I will tell my students here who are listening to us that you read a core area fine. If you are good in finance, it's good enough, but you also have to have knowledge on economics. You also have to have good knowledge on political economy. Political economy is another subject. Like how is the World Bank working? How is the IMF is working? How is the Asian Development Bank working? Bretton Woods institutions, how are they work? How they originated? After the Marshall Plan, the Americans launched in the West Europe. Now the Chinese are launching BRI, Bridge and Road Initiative. This is all economics. This is all economics, all finance, supply chain management. Again, culture. Again, soft power. Combination of soft power and hard power, we call it smart power. You have to play smart power pretty well. So once you come at upper level, so once you become a professor or an associate professor, you must have good knowledge on the allied subject around your core area. Otherwise, sorry, you can't teach at the university level. That's my personal opinion. And I strongly, when I teach studying management to my class, I conduct studying management. I bring in economics, I bring in marketing, I bring in finance. I don't understand that well. I bring in HR, I bring in and strategy. No, I understand it well. Strategic and tactics and all those things, and how big operations are launched and so on and so forth. So you have to put them together, gel them together, and then throw them to the students. Give them a horizon, and then and what is important is give the concept, give the horizon. A leader gives a horizon. A leader looks at the horizon. A manager looks downward. That's how I look at the leadership. So you must, as a teacher, you are a leader. That's what I always tell my students. As a teacher, you are a leader. And unless you are displaying your leadership traits well, sorry, you can't perform well. And then you have to create knowledge, create new and unique knowledge, unique, something different from others. That you understand better. I'm sure most of the students here will understand that better. But then, if you go to America, do a PhD, you have to do a coursework, comprehensive coursework for 1 or 2 years. And it's very tough to pass the coursework in American universities. And there they teach you all kinds of, all the extra paraphernalias from the core area. And that's very important in life. Of course, your core area, US core, that you have to be an expert on that. Like say in finance, if you're talking about Bangladesh National Reserve Bank, Bangladesh Bank Reserve Bank, political economy comes in, politics comes in, Prime Minister comes in, Finance Minister comes in.
Right.
There is a board of governors, they come in. There are private entrepreneurs, they come in. So political economy is coming in. And there's a political disturbance in the country. Can that bank function? No. Remittance coming, so that's part of your politics. You have good foreign policy. If you have good foreign policy, then you can get more workers in Middle East. You can get more worker vacancies in Malaysia. And our diplomats should be good, so that our diplomats are not that good. At least in Malaysia, I can tell you. But look at the Indian diplomats; they go here and there, and they take care of the people of that country. So things are interlinked, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and we must have that approach. And even in political science, international relations, quantitative methods are applied comprehensively. Many people apply, quantitative methods. But personally for me, I don't go for quantitative. I only go for qualitative. Well, that's my handicap. That's my weakness. You can say that.
In other way, that is your strength, Prof. That's how you are leading the the way. And I would say in your area, you're one of the leading researcher that we always get your what you call research outputs. One of your book that I came across is about power politics in the Asia Pacific. So definitely, as you rightly mentioned, that politics is related to everything. That's what we all even see, that it affecting our education system, our education quality, and all those things, Prof. So, Prof, when you wrote that book, Power Politics in Asia Pacific, so basically, what you see the difference between this Asia Pacific and different part of the world when it comes to politics and this one? What is your research finding, Prof?
This is. Can you tell me the total title of the book?
Power Politics in Asia Pacific, I think, and China. I think I forgot the rest part.
The case of Chinese modernization. Yeah, the case of Chinese modernization.
Right.
Yeah. I wrote that book long time back in 2000, I think 2007 or 8.
Right.
Yeah, I made a projection of that China will become number one economic power by 2030, between 2030 to 2040. And my forecast, I think, is I'm almost correct. I made a projection in that book that China will become number one economic power in the world. I have put some little bit of quantitative tools over there. China will overtake the Americans by 2030, and it is going to overtake America by 2030. In PowerPoint, it is already overtaken. It has already overtaken America in PPP terms, purchasing power parity.
Right.
But in the real economy, probably still number 2. But China has a lot of disposable money, huge reserve of trillions of dollars of money. So what to do with this money? They are investing everywhere in BRI countries. More than 70, 80 countries have joined BRI. And it's all economics, geopolitics and economics, that's it. But here again, the question of diplomacy comes in, soft power comes in. If the people of the host country do not welcome you, this will fail. Your economy will fail. Like when I teach strategic management, we have a subject called, before you go for a business, launching a business, you have to study the political environment, you have to study the legal environment, you have to study the economic environment, you have to study the technological environment, you have to study the ethical environment. Like Bangladesh is suffering badly because of lack of ethics and morality. There's so many culprits. They have looted the banks and the financial houses. They take money and they never return it back.
Right.
That's a bad culture we have. And they siphon off this money to outside, to Canada, to Malaysia. They buy a second home, or they've got beautiful palaces in in Kuala Lumpur,
Right.
or in Singapore, or in America, or in London. So this is also again politics, entrepreneurship, public-private partnership, and so on and so forth.
Prof, you've been to China. You've been to China Foreign Affairs University as a visiting professor, and I'm sure you notice the research culture out there. So, I mean, how far the China gone in that area of research, and comparing to Bangladesh, if you say so?
Oh, they have gone far ahead, far ahead. Tsinghua University, I have visited that university, Tsinghua University. The other day I was reading the Economist journal. They're making a forecast that within next 5 years, Tsinghua will overtake MIT in terms of number of citations in next 5 years.
I see.
And once I visited the university, I'm totally convinced about that. Fantastic university. Tsinghua is, I think, within first 15 in the QS World Ranking. Within first 15 or 10 or something, maybe. My son will know about that. Tsinghua is going to overtake MIT in terms of number of citations. Then Peking University, another university, fantastic university. Then Fudan University is another fantastic, coming up well.
Right.
China Foreign Affairs University is not a comprehensive university. They only teach diplomacy, but they have a PhD program there. And their PhD program is very, very comprehensive.
Right.
It's not that easy. You have a lot of seminars, they discuss, and they don't give award degrees so easily.
Right.
But they are going both for Chinese language and also English medium. You can go for both Chinese version or English version. Both are allowed now.
Right.
I was there basically. I conducted some classes. They gave me some subjects. So I used to, basically it was seminar at different level, undergrad level, postgrad level, PhD students level, and so on and so forth. I was mostly a visitor over there, and well, I used to also myself study there and do some research myself. But I enjoyed my stay, and they are very good hosts. Chinese are very good hosts, and they take care and all those things. In America also, when I was in the Kennedy School, fantastic. Their system is so well organized, very well organized. Pin drop silence everywhere.
Right.
We cannot ensure that in Bangladesh universities. No.
Prof, our next question would be that what we were wondering. Basically, if you look at Malaysia, India, different part of the world, most of the public and private universities, they are offering PhD program. But when you look at in Bangladesh, we don't see any private universities offering PhD program. Not many public universities. I think it's just a couple of them are offering PhD program. So do you think that would be, or somehow is slowing down, or not really helping us to create a research culture in your country?
You're absolutely right. I'm totally with you. The serious lacuna, the serious gap, and this nation is going to suffer because of that. You can build a road or culvert or bridge within the next 1 or 2 years, but if your generation is destroyed, to get them back to the on track, it will take next 50 years or 30 years or 40 years. We are almost destroying it. Dhaka University is still okay. Buet is still okay. Rajshahi University also is okay. And then Jahangirnagar, they also launch. They also have the PhD program, but the government or the University Grants Commission do not give permission for running PhD program in the private universities. I think, to my mind, some of the universities can run it. 2, 3 of top of them, like say North South, can run it. Comfortably, they can run it. BRAC can run it. In my university, IUB can run it. Or maybe 2 universities can combine together and run a PhD program. We have very qualified teachers. We have very qualified teachers. I know a teacher in AAA department. He's a BUET graduate. He did his PhD from Texas A&M. Texas A&M.
Right.
And he's a full professor. He was dean the other day. He does not have a single ISI journal publication, my dear friend. Sorry, I'll not take the name. I cannot take the name. But say X, Y, Z, whatever. He does not have a single ISI journal publication. And he's teaching AAA. He's teaching computer science and engineering. I was feeling pity for him. He was a very brilliant guy. He thought, I have done a PhD from Texas A&M. That's it. That's the end of my life. And the subject like AAA or public health or life science, this is not excusable. In the Dhaka University Ordinance, it is written that to be a professor, you have to have 12 years of service, 12 automatic, and you have to have more than one publication. More than one publication, what kind of journal, that is not mentioned. So you can publish one, it can be even 1.5 publications and you can get a professorship. But these are the areas, these are difficult, daunting challenges because the political forces will come in. The moment you are bringing, I'm trying to impose ISI in my university, I'm facing challenges. But I have submitted my report. They asked for a report, I have submitted a report. I said, at least start with the scopus, then slowly we'll get graduate. But we have to motivate them. Motivation is the only factor. And you have to motivate the young minds. The old haggards will not work. Take the young minds, fresh minds, and motivate them. And already in my school, 3, 4, or 5 of them have done ISI, Scopus, or even more than that,
Right.
So future is there, but direction is necessary, leadership is necessary, culture is necessary. That culture is missing, motivation is missing, leadership is missing, direction is missing, because it is run by the private entrepreneurs.
Right.
They are very good managers, they are very good leaders in their own field. And when it comes to higher education, I think there is a mismatch between the board and the senior management. But then if there's a good vice chancellor, he can manage it well. A good, dynamic, transformational type of vice chancellor, he should be able to manage it. I've seen a good vice chancellor can make big difference.
Right.
And then also the deans. It's the deans, they run the universities.
Right.
That's how I look at it. So motivation is very important.
Right. You have seen that how Malaysia is transiting from a very, I would say, not listed universities to the listed university in the world ranking, either in QS or in Times. They are making their footprint up there, and that wasn't a story in 20 years before, or even 15 years before. And I'm sure you've been here, so you know the process. So if they can do it this way, why don't we replicate, Prof? I mean, what is stopping us to replicate?
You see, again, the question of leadership comes in. If you have an easy life, you want to take an easy life, or you take a hard life. Without having done it, if you can get the promotion, you can become a professor. Why to go for a hard type? Like when I joined University of Malaya in 2009, then the QS ranking, that university was in the 300 range. Today it is 59th best university in the world in the QS ranking. It's just because of one person. I tell you, it is one person, that Gauss Jasmine. He pushed it so hard. He motivated people so hard. He would say some guest is coming to the office, a student or a faculty. He first ask him, have you done an ISI? If he says yes, then come in. If he says no, then don't come in.
Right.
You see, he pushed it that way, and he got a lot of money, a lot of funding.
Right.
He created, cluster system. different disciplines of culture cluster system. He used to come and talk to students, and he said, "I will not promote you." A colleague of mine, she was an associate professor. She did her master's and PhD both from a very renowned university in United States, and she applied for professorship, English literature.
Right.
And Gaudiya Osman said, "Sorry, you don't have an ISI. I can't promote you." "Well, sir, during my time, it was not necessary. So why are you putting this bar on me?" "No, no, no, no.
Right.
I will not compromise." And she was crying, and she had to retire as an associate professor. She was a very brilliant student because she got a scholarship I think in Harvard, probably yes, in Harvard University.
I
That's a
see.
good brilliant, and she had to retire as an associate professor. But then, well, you have to have both ends. Motivation is important. Arranging resources, talking to the people, organize workshops, give money, and industry university cooperation is very important.
Right.
Cooperation with the industries are very important,
Right. Prof, we will
both
be
for the
taking
science.
Prof, we will be taking some questions towards the end of our program. We are just about like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Dear
yeah.
viewers, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions that you wish to ask to our guest, our honorable guest, a leading researcher in the world, please drop in the comment box. Then we'll be reading in a couple of minutes' time. We'll be reading your comments. And before we read that comments, please keep on commenting on the live show, and then I will go for our last question to our professor today. He has another webinar from United States of America later at 10 a.m. Bangladesh time, so I wouldn't take a long time from professor. So Prof, like to be a young generation, the young generation that you are teaching in Bangladesh back home, since they are not getting that culture of so-called research environment, and so in that sense, but they have to fight with the world. I mean, they are global citizens, so what they can do by themselves to make them better, like a world-class people, Prof?
They are doing it. Some of them are doing it. After their intermediate exam,
Right.
a billion students are migrating to Canada, to UK, to Singapore, to Malaysia. And lecturers, they are looking for a PhD program. And they are going to good university in Australia, to Canada, to UK, to Malaysia, Singapore, to China. Now, a lot of students are going to China because China is offering a lot of scholarship. And they have now some good universities now. So they are taking care. They know what is life. They know what is life. Life is tough. Without having done PhD, they can survive. So they are going for PhD and taking the first available opportunity, and they are availing it. And they're going, and many of them are coming back. The trend has reversed now. Many of them are coming back to the country. I'm very happy to see that. This is there's a silver lining that some of them are coming back to the country. Very good, very nice. Where job available in a foreign country is now difficult. So many of them are coming back, and it's good for the country. The brains are coming back. There's no brain drain. The brain are coming back to the country.
Right. Right, Prof. We don't have much question today. I mean, you have many well wishers, and Prof, definitely we are. Highly delighted to have you on our show. And probably, Prof, if you just share the last things, as like when you publish, we notice you have published a couple of books and articles, especially when you publish book, Prof. How do you get this offer or approach? I mean, how do you get to know all these world-class publishers, and you get the approach on if a young researcher like us would like to write a book, say for example, just for and no wish. So how they could approach all these publishers, Prof?
I think what I would suggest, please read extensively
I
your
see.
area.
Right.
Read all the classical books that we have, basic
Right.
classics. You must read these books. Read the journals. You
Right.
must read. There's a saying: read wisely and widely.
Right.
You read extensively, and if more you read, you will get ideas.
Right.
More you read, your brain will tell you what is the idea. Get a new idea, but must get a new idea, a unique idea. That's very important.
Right.
And that is important. You must read and read and read and read wisely, as I said, and read the latest developments.
Right.
But you must also read the classics, like in economics. You must read Adam Smith.
Right.
Just an example.
I see.
That is how it is in marketing. That what is that? The father of marketing was that Professor Taylor.
Right.
What is his name? I forget his name. Anyway, like mm, yeah. So you should read the classical books,
Right.
get your concept clear, read allied subjects, read more number of. If you, as I said, if you are studying finance, study economics as well, study HR as well, study marketing as marketing is important for finance and economics. Marketing they are linked up, and also read some general subjects.
Right.
Know about the system of governance in your country. Know about the
Right.
system of politics of your country. Know about the economic system of your country. What is your open market economy? You have to understand that. What is communist economy? You have to understand that.
Right.
What is TPP? You have to understand that. So what you study some other subject? What you have to understand? These are the basic knowledge that you have to understand. So I must say that you must read extensively. No, sorry, there's no shortcut to research and to knowledge and to wisdom. That's my message. You have to work hard. Well, of course, keep your health fit. Unless you are healthy, you can't really healthy both mentally and physically. You cannot concentrate. And
Right.
learn from your seniors. Talk to your teachers. You know, uh, any good conference or seminar that I get, I never miss it.
I see.
I travel to so many countries in Europe. I have traveled to most of the countries. The other day I was in New Zealand. The other day I was in Japan. So if I get a good seminar and they accept me, I avail that right away. So
Right.
if you listen to the good people, uh, and that makes it a big difference. You have
Right.
to read widely and wisely. Don't read cheap things.
I see.
Cheap, cheap. Fine for little fun and frolics and some recreation. You can read some novels, and that you have already done it. But now, if you are coming to your core area, read more number of books, more classics, more read the latest journals. If you read and try to understand the trend of that particular journal, what is the requirement of that particular journal? Each journal has its own uniqueness, what they want for. Like the journal is dealing with East Asia, but if you are writing on West Asia, they will not be happy to get such a paper. The
Right.
journal is doing work on history, and you are submitting a paper on geography. Probably they'll not be interested on that. So you have to understand. You have to understand the language of the paper also. Language development is very important. Connecting the language is very important. Idea connecting is very important. Language development is very, very important. The continuity of flow of language, flow of idea, this is very important. And there we lack. Bangladeshi students are faltering, or faculty are faltering because of this flow of language and flow of ideas. That is very important. And connecting two ideas, and then go on and on and on, and then come to its kind of inferences. Now you are piling up, compiling from different sources and put them together. That is a basket full of a lot of fruits and mangoes and so on and so forth. That's not going to work. What is
Right.
the crux of the thing that you're taking it out? That is more important. Yeah. So more you read, more you understand, more you think. Thinking is more important.
Right.
Personally, for me, when I read something, when I'm sitting idle or I'm taking rest or something, I think about it. What is the idea, new idea I can get from here? It will bug me. My brain will keep on bugging me, and I get an. You will definitely get an idea from there.
Right.
So that is how it's a personal culture, personal way of development. It's self development. It's called self development that you have to prepare yourself
Right.
for the research culture and to compete, to be competitive. Nepal has a QS ranking university.
Right.
Bangladesh does not have it. Pakistan has 4, 5 of them. India has 7, 8, 9 of them. Can you imagine?
Right.
Dhaka University was once called the Oxford of the East. Really, it was. It was during our time, or before the 60s, 70s, 80s. But anyway, Dhaka University is still one of the best in this region. Buet is a fantastic university, no doubt about that. But then again, slackness, motivation. There has to be both motivation and also, don't spare the rod for the child. There is a saying, if you
Right.
spare a rod for the child, he'll get spoiled. Well, that may not be very palatable, but it also was. There has to be some kind of restrictions, coercive measures. If you do not have so many public, like in UM, to be a professor, you have to have 15 ISI journal publications in science and medicine. Earlier, it was also in the social science, but that has been taken away. It's very difficult to publish in ISI, in the social science or in business studies.
Right.
But then there's some KPIs given clearly. Clear
Right.
KPIs are given, and that's very
Prof,
important.
for now, in social science, if a foreigner like us, we want to be an associate professor, from senior lecturer to associate professor, we need to have 30 publication, and at least 10 of them should be index, and rest should be Scopus. You should have two published book from the world-renowned publisher. We have to give two PhD students, two PhD, and also a research grant worth of 300,000 ringgit. And definitely got some other teaching requirements and also what do you call engagement with the society and all these things. So that is a requirement to be an associate professor.
That's a KPI, and that's very tough.
Right.
And that's at the moment in Bangladesh is almost unthinkable. Almost unthinkable. It's a very tough, criteria to meet.
Right.
Because having 30 publications and 10 of them in the ISI and rest is Scopus, it's a very tough job, unless you are doing it from your right from the days of your PhD.
Right.
It's a tough job, but well, we can start it.
Right. Yes.
Instead of making it 30, make it 15,
Right.
and maybe make it 5 of them as ISI, or 3 of them as ISI, or make it 2 of them as ISI. At least have 10 such publications. Maybe 7 of them are Scopus and 3 of them are ISI. Still, I'm happy about that.
Right.
You have to start that, and if they will come, you will pick it up. You will also make it 30, 40. You will be self-motivated. Self-motivation is very important, and that is what is lacking. And as a dean of the school, I have been trying to do that, and I think I got about 2.5 years time, and I think to some extent I have a success. I think I'm happy about the outcome. I think I'm happy with the outcome.
Prof, you made your way and you had a lot of success story that we glad to know about you from today. And as a last word for the millennials who always look for shortcut, so what would be your last sentence for the millennials, Prof?
No way to shortcut and solve the problems. Sorry. In research, in studies, higher studies, shortcut cannot be the way out. You have to be creative, you have to be innovative, you have to have lateral thinking. It's very important. Critical thinking, deep thinking, and then
So
look around.
right. So
Look around.
dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen, with that note that there is no shortcut and there is no way, shortcut is not the way to go. We would like to thank our professor, our honorable guest, Professor Aminul Karim, for having us with this show. And we are truly grateful to have you on our show. And we wish you a happy life. And we would love to have you around for so many years to come, Prof. And with that note, ladies and gentlemen, we also would like to thank you for watching us. Keep watching Scholar Alap, and we'll see you in next week, Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Stay safe, stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mahfouz. You are a bright scholar from Bangladesh. I'm very proud of you. And once you're done abroad, come back to this country and help our universities bring back scholarship and the culture part of it. And I must thank you personally for inviting me to such an august gathering. If I have been of some use, I'm really happy about that. And I would say that You are doing a great job of this, research collaboration is another area in research. You must collaborate.
Right.
Collaboration is another fantastic idea in research. Like this is a collaboration that you are doing. You are linking up, networking. Networking and collaboration is a very important word, and that is a good job you are doing. Excellent job you are doing. Marvelous job you are doing. I'm very happy with your performance, with your initiatives, and I wish you best of luck. And I'm sure you will reach the pinnacle of success in your career in the days ahead. Thank you so much
Thank
to
you so
you
much.
and to all the listeners, to all the
To all the
thank you. My
viewers,
pleasure.
thank you so much for watching and watching us on live Scholar Alap, and we'll see you next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
It was a pleasure and good night and assalamu